Welcome to Ghost Tales, where we talk a little bit about supernatural, paranormal things going on. But today, the game is afoot because we have guests from the Wells Theater who are from the Sherlock Carroll. Sherlock Carroll. This sounds so much fun. I love this. So we've got here today Jenny Schaefer, who has been with us before. She's the costume designer for Wells Theater. And next to her is Steve Pasek, who's the director of the show. And we have Scott Witchman, who plays the Sherlock Holmes, the one and only. He's fantastic. So we... This is going to be so much fun. So I love this idea. I've never seen... well, I just recently saw Emma at the Wells Theater, and that was so much fun. That was my first show that I've ever seen. But evidently, this is kind of like a tradition where we have kind of like a Sherlock Carroll every year at the Wells.
It's becoming a tradition.
Yeah, I think we can officially call it a tradition since this is year 2. Merry Little Christmas Carol is a traditional show that we do every Christmas. And our playwright for Merry Little Christmas Carol wrote a Sherlock Carol. And so we've been able to merge the two together through design and through actors in the show. And so now it's a tradition. So just keep saying it and it'll keep going on and on. And the universe is now aware.
Gotcha. And so explain how this works, because it's kind of like a melding of two worlds together, right?
The coolest part, I think, is that Mark Shanahan, the playwright, did not ever write he wrote these pieces completely separate. So he'd never intended them to be done at the same time with the same cast as we're doing it in rep. It's just kind of something that manifested maybe with the help of little helpers in his ear. But yeah, the Merry Little Christmas Carol is the traditional Dickens tale. And then a Sherlock Carol is based on the Conan Doyle beloved characters and some of the stories from the series. But he mashes them up with characters and descendants of people from Dickens' Christmas Carol. So you get to meet, well, I won't give away too many things, but you get to meet some characters that maybe you met when they were little in Merry Little Christmas Carol, and you get to now meet them all grown up because the show takes place about 30 years.
It's 1894, so it's a significant time after the events of A Christmas Carol, but it essentially functions as a sequel to A Christmas Carol, incorporating Sherlock Holmes and his world with the world of Charles Dickens and Ebenezer Scrooge and those characters. Yeah. So it's probably one of the most amazing pieces of playwriting that I've ever seen, because it takes two established properties that are heavily honored in the literary community, right? And deftly weaves together this tale that it is new, but the pieces are not only vintage, but they're treasured. So I think the way that Mark weaves together this tale is, if you're a fan of Sherlock Holmes, you will love it. If you don't know anything about Sherlock Holmes, you'll still love it because you'll learn a lot. Yeah. And if you love the Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, it just has some delicious payoffs for what happens to some of these characters after sort of the credits roll on A Christmas Carol. Yep. So and in line with the theme, there are ghosts aplenty.
Yes. Yeah. And we want to mention that we do incorporate ghosts who we have heard about at the Wells Theater. They're being brought onto the stage in this production, correct? Talk a little bit about the decision for that.
Well, that's a little bit more in Merry Little Christmas Carol, where we just acknowledge the ghosts of our theater. Mark Shanahan came and directed a show years and years ago with our friend Steve Pasek here, and he fell in love with the theater, and it just stuck with him. And so when he went to write this adaptation of Christmas Carol for us, he wanted to incorporate those spirits and those ghosts that we have. And so they're there, ever present with us. Yeah. And they enjoy the process with us as well.
Have you told them about the Ghostlight tradition in theater?
Yes, I know about it, but tell our viewers if they don't know about that yet.
So the Ghostlight is a lighting instrument. It's basically just a pole with a light bulb on top that is traditionally set at the foot of the stage and illuminates the theater all night until people come back the next day. A lot of a lot of it is for practical, like safety purposes, because in Broadway theaters where there's an orchestra pit, you don't want somebody falling in the pit because it's dark. But it also has this other meaning of a ghost light keeping the house warm and lit for the spirits that always inhabit these spaces. Because what we do as artists, I think, and as storytellers is tell the stories of not only ourselves, but those who have come before us, those who will come after us. And so we invoke the spirit world. At least I do personally. I ask for their guidance to help tell this story. And so knowing that we're telling the story of actual spirits and ghosts that live in the wells is really cool.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're actually named characters as they are in Christmas Carol, or whether they are part of our spirit world in a Sherlock Carol, you feel them for sure.
Yeah. How many years have you been at the Wells, Steve?
Ooh, I think we're going on 10 now.
Yes,
Almost 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you had experiences with
Yes.
these ghosts? Really? Yes.
Yeah.
You're laughing a little, which makes me worry.
No, I'm excited and scared by ghosts and spirit world, but I have had numerous encounters over the years. But yeah, one in particular at
Okay, hold on just a second. Before you go into that,
oh,
let's
suspense.
I know. we have a cliffhanger. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial. We'll talk about more about the Ghost at the Wells Theater. And we're back on Ghost Tales. We have so much fun during these commercial breaks. Tucker, look at you. You cannot help yourself.
can't wait.
You're just so everyone. We're all on the edge of our seats now. Tell us about your experiences with these ghosts at the Wells.
So I was very aware of the architect who likes to sit in one of the house boxes on house right of the theater.
Is that the Man in Black?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And I was on stage for the show, The Hound of the Baskervilles. And
We love a theme here.
we do. And in that show, my character, it plays an actor who's playing other characters, but the actor that I play was really spooked by spirits and ghosts, which I share a little bit of that myself.
Sure.
And so at that moment when I actually turned and thought I saw the cloaked figure in the box, it was not acting in that moment. It was very real. And then I used that reaction for the rest of the show. Because there were things. Speaking of, you were talking about the sandbag show that you did in high school.
Yes.
There was a sandbag that drops and almost hits my character on stage. It's all planned and safe, but
Right,
but in that moment it felt very dangerous because I was
yeah.
actually seeing one of the spirits.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy.
I'm going to be looking up there in that box constantly now.
I don't look there anymore. Because I'm fully expecting that I will see him.
I have a picture of you sitting in his daughter's box. I wonder.
Oh, maybe
Ooh.
that was why.
That's why.
He's like, what are you doing? Sitting in my
Uh-huh.
daughter's box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I think
During
he,
I know.
that show, you're in your Sir Henry costume.
Ooh.
Sitting in that box watching. I wonder, I just
That could
love
be.
it. I
Y'all
love
need
it.
to
Okay,
charge
so
more
for
for tickets.
The ghosts are extra. The
Yes.
ghosts, you have to pay extra for those. Okay, for those who don't know at home, the Man in Black is, we believe, to be maybe the architect of the theater, who, if you've ever been to the Wells, on the balconies, they've got these faces. And he designed one of the faces to look like his daughter. So the saying is that he likes to stand across in the box across from this one and peer across so he can always see his daughter.
Yeah.
So I love that story though. It's kind of heartening. It's not really scary, but it's ooh.
Yeah, no, it's not at all.
But it gives
They're-
you chills.
They're very welcoming. Like you
Yeah.
feel a warm presence there. I feel a warm presence.
I yes, absolutely.
I'm glad you cleared the misconception up because when you said you saw the Man in Black up there, I thought you meant Johnny Cash.
No, that'd be cool too.
That would be cool. Let's focus on bringing the ghost of Johnny Cash to the Wells.
Yes, with them both.
But yeah, okay, well, my next question just went right out the window. I completely forgot where I was going with this. You guys are so entertaining. I love this. So talk a little bit about so yes, Jenny, talk about the weekends that people can be here at the Wells and see both shows, Merry Little Christmas and A Sherlock Carol.
Absolutely. December 13th.
You can move the mic. Yeah.
December 13th
yeah.
and December 20th, we will have our matinee at 2:00 will be Merry Little Christmas Carol. And then at 7:30, will be Sherlock Carol on both those Saturdays. So you can come watch Mary Little, go get some dinner downtown, and then come back and see Sherlock Carol. I'm so excited for the audience to be able to experience both of these shows on the same day. It's going to be really exciting.
That's neat. Okay, and that's December 13th and 20th. Okay, and the first one starts at Merry Little Christmas starts at
2:00.
2 o'clock in the afternoon. So nice little matinee, and then you go have dinner at one of our many restaurants downtown that we all love, and then come back at 7:30 for a Sherlock Carol. I love that. Okay, and talk about what inspiration have you drawn on to play Sherlock this year?
Oh man, I mean, first of all, his mind moves at 100 miles an hour. And I mean, the character is so beloved, and there's been so many incredible iterations of Sherlock Holmes. And I think people have a sort of preconception about what that character should embody, but Conan Doyle imbued him with all these incredible characteristics, and he's a boxer, he is a fencer,
Violin?
he's a violin player. I mean, he's like a polymath.
Master of disguise.
Exactly. But he's also imbued him with a certain degree of vulnerability, in that he has a little bit of social isolation, and he's got a dark edge. And so for me, I know you were asking me before about the different adaptations of Sherlock Holmes. For me, the definitive Sherlock Holmes for me is Jeremy Brett in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which is part of the Granada series in England in 1989. And there was something about the way he was able to bring out the character's darkness, and was not afraid to lean into a lot of his irascibility and some of the things that make him edgy. But he did so in a real sort of Edwardian way that still has propriety and manners. And so we've created our own Sherlock Holmes, but he's imbued with the characteristics that that Doyle imbued him with, precisely because Mark Shanahan, the author, is such a fan of Sherlock Holmes, and so he's put the literary heart of that character right in the middle of this work. And so all you have to do is follow the map that he's set out for you. It's great.
Oh, I love it so much. All right, we're going to take another quick Christmas break. We're going to take a commercial break right now. We've been talking too much about this. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We are talking about, oh my goodness, a Sherlock Carol and a Merry Little Christmas and all the fun you can have at the Wells Theater with the ghosts. Need we forget? But let's talk about, so these folks who are in both productions, and you can see both productions on December 13th and the 20th, talk about their pulling double duty in each show.
So we are in the show A Sherlock Carol. Also, both casts of A Sherlock Carol and A Merry Little Christmas Carol are pulling double duty. So right now, in A Sherlock Carol, I play Sherlock Holmes. In A Merry Little Christmas Carol, I play Jacob Marley. I play Fezziwig. I play Old Joe. I play a couple of other characters. Right now, these actors have two scripts inside their head. And Steve has been the director of A Sherlock Carol, but he's also doing movement and some really dynamic choreography stuff for A Merry Little Christmas Carol. And he also has a history with both shows, as does Jenny. So we've got a wealth of experience to guide us as we put both of these shows together. But yeah, it's a tremendous undertaking, and you can appreciate it from both a narrative perspective, what happens in A Merry Little Christmas Carol and what's the continuation of Sherlock Carol. But from a theatrical perspective, you can also appreciate these two casts bringing two distinct stories to life with talent and dynamic electricity, and it's all sort of the theatrical magic of transformation.
Gotcha. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so Jenny, tell us about Merry Little Christmas.
Merry Little Christmas.
Merry
Carol.
Little Christmas Carol, and kind of explain the plot behind that.
Oh, he might be better.
Oh, okay.
I just make pretty close.
Steve, take it away.
The plot. Well, we know it's the age-old story of Ebenezer Scrooge and how he's set in his ways, and he's miserly, and he is visited one Christmas Eve night by a series of ghosts. I won't say how many because that's debatable.
And some hit closer to home.
Yeah, yeah. But they come and try to get him to change his ways so he doesn't waste the rest of his life living a life that's not worth living. So they try to get him to shake him up and get him to change his ways, which he does. One of my most unfavorite parts of that story as a kid was, well, we just saw him change, but then what? Then what? You never get to see Ebenezer Scrooge
Leading
how
a
he
good
lived.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I personally would like to see that because I like to be inspired by people doing right in the world. And that's the gift of a Sherlock Carol, is you get a little bit more of what happened with Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
So it kind of picks up where that left off a bit.
Yeah. And talk about, okay, so what is the plot behind a Sherlock Carol?
So
Without giving too much away.
It's so cool because it parallels the journey of A Christmas Carol, in that Sherlock Holmes has kind of slipped into this downward spiral of depression and has kind of turned a little Scrooge-esque, a little
Yeah.
bah humbuggy to the world around him, and he, with the help of a certain ghost, is able to try to figure out how he can change himself for the better also. So he is visited by spirits. And that's one of the coolest things too, I think, is that this character that was iconically so cerebral and so
He's a rationalist. Yeah,
rational and not supernatural at all, like anti-supernatural, is visited and has to contend with spirits and ghosts and things that he may or may not actually believe in. Or does he?
And as we catch Sherlock Holmes at the beginning of a Sherlock Carol, if you're someone who loves Sherlock Holmes, you will know that the Fall at Reichenbach, which was an 1893 story that Arthur Conan Doyle penned precisely to rid himself
Right.
of this literary creation that he felt was taking his
Yes.
attention away from other more noble literary pursuits. Holmes died. And of course, the public outrage was such that he brought him back.
Was, yeah.
So in the
and
course,
they had they posted his obituary
Right.
in the newspapers.
right. So there was a public outcry
Mm-hmm.
for how could you kill this beloved character? And so again, going back to our genius playwright, Mark Shanahan, who decided, what is the point at which I'm going to start this story? It's Holmes coming back from the Fall at Reichenbach, and everyone, for all intents and purposes, saying to him, I thought you were dead. I thought you were dead. And what happens to him is that he is sort of in this almost like a fugue state where he's probably in a sort of shock, but he's also decided to dissociate and cut all of the few meaningful ties that he has, and he's sort of isolated himself in a way that is very unique to this story. And his journey, as Ebenezer Scrooge's journey is in A Christmas Carol, is a journey back to connection with a larger community. And both of them are so deftly managed that it doesn't matter if you've seen this particular production of A Christmas Carol. If you've seen this story 1,000 times, the story of Scrooge's redemption, you're still going to be incredibly moved by it because it's happening in real time. And it's done so with such integrity and care. And the way in which it happens in a Sherlock Carol is unique and new and vibrant, and it echoes across bonds of friendship and family and found family and community, and it leaves you feeling like as a person your job is to bring your talents and your gifts to use and service to others, and it doesn't matter what that is.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the enduring messages at the heart of this story, but getting there is so much fun.
That's really neat. So we meet Scrooge in that kind of like he's battling with, okay, well, now I've got this life that everyone thought I lost, but kind of battling with like, how am I going to live this? this
Sherlock
life
Holmes,
now that I've
definitely,
been
like
kind of given a second chance.
He's come
almost.
back and he figures,
Yeah.
my greatest enemy, Moriarty, is dead. I must be purposeless now because I don't have a worthy adversary. And he justifies a lot of actions by that.
And that's another mirroring with Charles Dickens, because I was looking up online the blurb about the Sherlock Carol. And as you know, the first line of A Christmas Carol is Marley was dead to begin with. And then in here is Moriarty was dead to be. I love that connection. I love that mirroring. That was
And
brilliant.
so if you come to a show where the cast is doing both shows in one day, forgive them if they say the wrong name.
Yeah.
No, they will be ready by that
But
point.
the really great thing is we did we did a Sherlock Carol last year, and they did the rep with Merry Little Christmas Carol, and it was wonderful. The Sherlock Holmes audience out there in the world, there were a lot of people who came to Virginia Stage Company and the Wells Theater for the first time because of the big name draw of a Sherlock. And I remember seeing two kids. One of them was dressed in the deerstalker
We were
hat.
keeping count last
Right.
year of how many deerstalkers we saw.
Right,
And
and little kids.
There were multiple at opening.
Right, and so you got
pipes.
Holmes and Watsons and pipes and all this wonderful celebration of this
I love
character.
it.
And we were talking earlier about the way that you step into the Wells Theater, which was built in 1913. It's like
Yes.
walking through
It
a
really is.
time
It's
warp.
transformative,
all of
yeah.
a sudden, you're in this Edwardian era, and this story, this gaslight story, is being told to you in a place that evokes all those spirits and that atmospheric, we're going to take you on a journey type of thing. So if you love Sherlock Holmes, if you've never been to the Wells Theater, if
If
you've
you've never worn a deerstalker.
if you've never worn a deerstalker, if you've never, and this is a unique Christmas experience, and it's spectacular. And last year, we were sold out beyond Christmas. Now, I know that a lot of people, your social calendar ends on the 25th. You're like, I'm not going out anymore. I'm not. People were still filling that theater beyond the week after Christmas because. And people came back multiple times. You try to figure. You're also being called to work out a mystery.
You have to solve the mystery
Right.
with Holmes.
So all of
So you'll
these.
see other clues
I
that you
love
maybe missed
that.
on your first viewing.
Yes.
So definitely come back.
So come for the ghosts, come for the wells, come for the mystery, come for the community, come for the family, come for the experience. And I think once you step foot in that theater, you're going to want to come back.
Yeah.
And come for this guy getting to play one of his dream roles
Yes.
of
Goodness.
all time.
Oh, my
He is
goodness.
amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, and that's another thing I love about the Wells. I went and saw Emma for the first time, and I was telling you about how it feels so. I mean, it's so different from Chrysler Hall. You go see the big productions there. It's kind of a little bit more feeling impersonal. But when you go to the Wells, it's really kind of comfortable, it's cozy, it's intimate and you see people coming and just having a good time, and just kind of you almost kind of relax seeing all these people come in the way they are, and just all these people who have come back to the Wells, they know it, and they're just kind of more free, I guess, when they come in. So it is a place you can come dressed up, and
gosh,
if you
yeah.
want to. Yeah.
I think that's because of something you and I have talked about on a couple of occasions. It's the spirits that are in that building, not just our theater ghosts, but the spirit of everyone who's ever been in there. You walk in and you feel them just grab you and say, you're home, you belong here. And I think that ties into how you felt when you walked in there.
Yeah.
And why
It is
it's
so much fun.
so great to come and experience a show at the Wells at Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we were talking at the very beginning of the rehearsal process about Christmas traditions, and you all are my Christmas tradition, because I got to see Merry Little Christmas Carol in 2021 when my wife and I first moved here. And then I ended up in a Sherlock Carol, and now this year I'm in a Sherlock Carol and a Merry Little Christmas Carol. And in short order, I become part of the family there. And it is such a fulfilling experience to work with such incredible people on a labor of love, two labors of love, that my Christmas started early this year because we started rehearsal in like November 4th. So my Christmas started November 4th. This is one of the most beautiful gifts. Both of these stories packaged together are gifts to the community. They're wonderful.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that. Oh,
So
awesome.
many more than 12 days.
That's right.
We're packing in 24. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Jenny, Steve, and Scott. I love having you all here. Thank you so much. And it's
you.
just been so fun talking about this. So go to the Wells Theater. We cannot say it enough. Go on December 13th and December 20th. Again, is the days you can see both Merry Little Christmas and A Sherlock Carol, and starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the second one at 7:30. But you're running from, when is Sherlock Carol running from to?
Open December
6th.
6th. with
December
Mary Little,
6th.
and then opening for Sherlock is December 7th.
And that show runs all the way to the end of December. So
Sherlock does.
yeah,
So,
Sherlock. So
Up to New Year's Eve.
up till the 28th.
28th. Okay.
So yeah,
Mary
if you got
Little will end on the 23rd.
right. So if you have family in town beyond Christmas, bring them all. The game is afoot.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So go to the Wells Theater, get your deerstalker, get your cape, get your pipes, whatever, and go see A Sherlock Carol. This is so much fun. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Ghost Tales. And we'll scare you up another haunting episode next time. We'll see you later.